The Mindset That Creates Success by AI Audiobooks Empire. Introduction. Success is not born from chance, nor is it the product of luck alone. It is cultivated through mindset, the invisible architecture of thought that shapes decisions, actions, and ultimately destiny. The way we think determines the way we live, and the way we live determines the results we achieve. Every great accomplishment in history began first as a thought, nurtured by belief, strengthened by discipline, and carried forward by resilience. Without the right mindset, even the most gifted talents remain dormant, and opportunities slip away unnoticed. A success-oriented mindset is not about blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is about clarity, conviction, and the ability to see beyond immediate circumstances. It is the discipline to act when others hesitate, the courage to persist when others surrender, and the wisdom to learn when others resist change. Success is not a single event, but a continuous unfolding of choices, habits, and principles. It is the daily decision to rise above excuses, to embrace responsibility, and to transform challenges into stepping stones. This audiobook is a journey into the principles that create lasting success. Across 12 chapters, we will explore the foundations of belief, vision, discipline, resilience, growth, time, consistency, courage, humility, focus, gratitude, and legacy. Each principle is a lens through which you can examine your own life, a mirror reflecting the mindset you carry, and a guide pointing toward the person you are becoming. By the end, you will see that success is not reserved for the fortunate few. It is available to anyone willing to cultivate the mindset that creates it. If you are here listening, welcome to AI Audiobooks Empire. This channel is dedicated to bringing you stories, principles, and wisdom that uplift, empower, and transform lives. Every narration is crafted to inspire discipline, resilience, and intentional living, values that guide us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Your support means the world. Every listen, every share, and every subscription helps us continue creating content that reaches hearts and strengthens minds. By engaging with this channel, you are not only encouraging the growth of this project, but you are also becoming part of a community that values wisdom, discipline, and purposeful living. Each time you share, you extend the reach of these principles to someone who may need encouragement, clarity, or motivation in their own journey. And today, we begin with a theme that lies at the very foundation of achievement: mindset. Success is not born from chance, nor is it the product of luck alone. It is cultivated through the way we think, the principles we live by, and the choices we make daily. In this audiobook, The Mindset That Creates Success, we will explore 12 timeless principles: belief, vision, discipline, resilience, growth, time, consistency, courage, humility, focus, gratitude, and legacy, each one a cornerstone in building a life of greatness. So let your support be more than a click. Let it be a contribution to a movement of growth and empowerment. Together, we can build a space where stories are not just heard, but lived out. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And thank you for helping us continue this mission to inspire and elevate lives through the power of audiobooks. Now, let us begin our journey into the mindset that creates success. Chapter 1. The Power of Belief. Belief is the seed of achievement, the invisible force that precedes every great accomplishment. Without belief, even the most talented individuals remain paralyzed by doubt, unable to act on their potential. Success begins the moment you convince yourself that it is possible, when you allow your mind to imagine a reality greater than your current circumstances. Belief is not simply a thought. It is a conviction that shapes your choices, fuels your persistence, and anchors your vision. It is the quiet voice that whispers you can when the world shouts you cannot. Without belief, dreams remain fragile ideas, but with belief, they become blueprints for destiny. Belief fuels courage. It is the foundation upon which bold action is built. When you believe in yourself, you are willing to take risks, to endure setbacks, and to persist when others quit. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it, and belief is what makes that decision possible. Every breakthrough in history was born from someone who believed when others doubted, who acted when others hesitated. Belief transforms hesitation into momentum, and momentum into progress. It allows you to step into uncertainty with confidence, knowing that even if you stumble, you will rise again stronger than before. A strong belief system transforms obstacles into opportunities. Challenges no longer appear as threats to your progress, but as proof of your potential. When you believe, you see setbacks as lessons, failures as feedback, and resistance as the training ground for resilience. Belief reframes adversity, turning it into the very material from which success is built. It is the lens that allows you to see possibility where others see limitation, and growth where others see defeat. In the end, belief is not just about what you think. It is about who you become. It is the inner strength that carries you through storms, the anchor that steadies you in uncertainty, and the spark that ignites the journey toward greatness. Chapter 2: Vision Shapes Reality. Vision is the blueprint of success, the invisible design that guides every step of the journey. It is more than a dream. It is a clear picture of what could be, a mental map that provides direction when the path is unclear. Without vision, effort becomes scattered, discipline feels aimless, and sacrifice seems meaningless. Vision is the compass that points toward destiny, reminding you that every small step today is part of a larger story unfolding tomorrow. It is the ability to see beyond the fog of the present moment and to recognize that your current struggles are shaping the foundation of your future victories. Those who succeed are not limited by what they see in front of them. They imagine what could be, not just what is. Vision allows you to rise above circumstances, to look beyond temporary setbacks, and to hold on to a picture of possibility even when reality feels discouraging. It is the lens through which you interpret life, turning obstacles into stepping stones and uncertainty into opportunity. Vision empowers you to live not by sight alone, but by foresight, to act not only for today, but for the tomorrow you are building. It is the difference between drifting aimlessly and moving intentionally, between reacting to life and designing it. Vision gives meaning to sacrifice, turning temporary discomfort into purposeful investment. When you have vision, the pain of discipline becomes bearable because you know it is shaping your destiny. The hours of hard work, the moments of restraint, and the seasons of perseverance all gain significance because they are tied to a greater picture. Vision transforms endurance into empowerment, reminding you that every challenge is part of the process of becoming. It is vision that sustains you when motivation fades, that strengthens you when fatigue sets in, and that inspires you when doubt whispers. With vision, you do not simply survive the present, you build the future. Chapter 3: Discipline over Motivation. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline is enduring. Motivation rises and falls with emotion, often appearing in bursts of energy that fade as quickly as they arrive. Discipline, however, is steady. It is the quiet force that compels you to act even when your feelings resist. Success belongs not to those who wait for inspiration, but to those who act consistently, day after day, regardless of mood or circumstance. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, the principle that ensures progress continues even when enthusiasm disappears. It is the difference between temporary effort and lasting success. Discipline creates habits, and habits create results. When discipline governs your actions, repetition becomes natural, and repetition builds mastery. The athlete who trains daily, the writer who writes despite fatigue, the entrepreneur who works through setbacks, all are driven not by constant motivation, but by disciplined habits that compound over time. Habits are the invisible engines of success, shaping your future without requiring constant emotional fuel. Discipline ensures that your actions align with your goals, transforming effort into momentum and momentum into achievement. By mastering discipline, you free yourself from dependence on emotion and anchor your progress in principle. You no longer wait for the right mood or the perfect moment. You act because it is necessary, because it is aligned with your vision, because it is who you are becoming. Discipline liberates you from the instability of feelings and grounds you in the stability of values. It is the anchor that holds you steady when storms of distraction rage, the compass that keeps you aligned when temptation whispers, and the engine that drives you forward when motivation has long vanished. In the end, discipline is not a restriction. It is the ultimate freedom, the power to choose consistency over chaos and progress over passivity. Chapter 4. Resilience in the Face of Failure. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every great achievement carries within it a trail of setbacks, mistakes, and disappointments that shaped the journey. To fail is to be tested, to be stretched beyond comfort, and to be invited into growth. Those who fear failure remain stagnant, but those who embrace it discover that it is the refining fire of progress. Failure strips away illusions, exposes weaknesses, and reveals the areas where strength must be built. It is not the end of the road, but the beginning of wisdom, a reminder that success is not about perfection, but about persistence. Resilience allows you to rise after every fall, stronger and wiser than before. It is the inner strength that whispers, "Try again," when the world says, "Give up." Resilience is forged in adversity, built through the repeated act of standing up after being knocked down. Each time you rise, you carry with you lessons learned, scars that testify to endurance, and courage that grows deeper with every trial. Resilience transforms failure from a wound into a weapon, from a setback into a stepping stone. It is the discipline of refusing to be defined by defeat, choosing instead to be shaped by the determination to continue. Those who embrace failure as feedback transform setbacks into stepping stones. They do not see mistakes as evidence of weakness, but as guidance toward strength. Failure becomes a teacher, showing what does not work and pointing toward what might. With resilience, every fall becomes a rehearsal for future victories, every obstacle a training ground for greater challenges ahead. The resilient mindset does not ask, "Why me?" but instead, "What can I learn from this?" In the end, resilience is the power to turn failure into fuel, to transform adversity into advancement, and to rise again with greater wisdom, courage, and resolve than before. Chapter 5. The Growth Mindset. A growth mindset sees potential in every situation, even in places where others see only limitation. It is the belief that abilities are not fixed, but can be developed through effort, learning, and perseverance. With a growth mindset, challenges are not threats but invitations to expand. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to sharpen skills, every setback a lesson to refine strategies, and every success a stepping stone to greater achievement. This mindset transforms life into a continuous journey of improvement, where progress matters more than perfection and learning matters more than immediate results. Instead of asking, "Can I do this?" a growth mindset asks, "How can I learn to do this?" That subtle shift in perspective changes everything. It moves the focus away from limitation and toward possibility. It encourages curiosity, experimentation, and resilience. Those with a growth mindset do not fear failure because they see it as part of the learning process. They do not avoid challenges because they understand that growth requires stretching beyond comfort. This mindset empowers individuals to embrace the unknown, to step into new arenas, and to cultivate skills that once seemed out of reach. Success is not about being perfect. It is about being willing to grow. Perfection is static, but growth is dynamic. A growth mindset recognizes that mastery is built through repetition, patience, and humility. It values progress over pride, effort over ease, and persistence over instant gratification. Those who adopt this mindset live with the understanding that every day offers a chance to become better than yesterday. In the end, success is not reserved for those who start with the most talent, but for those who choose to keep learning, keep adapting, and keep growing. The growth mindset is the soil in which resilience, creativity, and achievement flourish, turning ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. Chapter 6: The Value of Time. Time is the most precious resource, yet the easiest to waste. Unlike money, it cannot be earned back. Unlike possessions, it cannot be replaced. Every moment that passes is gone forever, carrying with it the potential of what could have been achieved. Those who fail to value time often find themselves trapped in cycles of regret, wishing they had acted sooner, invested wiser, or lived more intentionally. To recognize the value of time is to awaken to the reality that life is measured not in years alone, but in the choices made within each hour. Success begins with the awareness that time is the currency of destiny, and how you spend it determines the story of your life. Successful people treat time as currency, investing it in actions that compound. They understand that small, consistent efforts accumulate into massive results over time. Just as money grows through wise investments, time multiplies when spent on learning, building, and nurturing relationships. Every hour becomes a seed planted into the soil of the future, destined to bear fruit in seasons ahead. Those who squander time on distractions or trivial pursuits rob themselves of progress, while those who invest it wisely create lives of meaning and impact. The difference between mediocrity and greatness often lies not in talent, but in how time is managed and multiplied. A mindset that values time creates urgency, focus, and clarity. It compels you to guard your minutes, to prioritize what matters, and to eliminate what does not. When you value time, procrastination loses its grip, because you understand that delay is costly. Clarity emerges when you measure decisions not by convenience, but by their impact on your future. Urgency arises when you realize that tomorrow is never guaranteed, and today is the only opportunity you truly possess. To value time is to live intentionally, to act with purpose, and to build a legacy that outlasts the fleeting hours of life. In the end, success is not about how much time you had, but about how wisely you chose to use it. Chapter 7: The Discipline of Consistency. Success is rarely explosive. It is cumulative. It is not the result of one grand gesture or a single moment of brilliance, but the steady accumulation of small, deliberate actions repeated over time. Consistency is the quiet force that builds momentum, the daily rhythm that transforms effort into excellence. While others chase shortcuts or wait for inspiration, those who practice consistency understand that greatness is not achieved in a day, but through days stacked upon days of faithful effort. It is the discipline of showing up, of doing the work even when no one is watching, and of trusting that the seeds planted today will bear fruit tomorrow. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds breakthroughs. Each repeated action strengthens your resolve, sharpens your skill, and compounds your progress. Like a river carving through stone, consistency shapes destiny through persistence. It is the athlete training every morning, the student studying daily, the entrepreneur refining their craft without pause. Over time, these small acts accumulate into unstoppable force, carrying you forward even when motivation wanes. Momentum is born from consistency, and once it is established, it becomes difficult to stop. Success flows naturally to those who refuse to break the chain of disciplined effort. A consistent mindset refuses to be distracted by short-term gratification. It resists the temptation of immediate comfort in favor of long-term reward. Consistency requires patience because results often appear slowly, almost invisibly, until one day they emerge with undeniable strength. It is the discipline of choosing principle over impulse, of valuing progress over pleasure, and of committing to the process even when the outcome feels distant. In the end, consistency is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It is the heartbeat of success, the rhythm that sustains achievement, and the discipline that ensures your vision becomes reality. Chapter 8: The Courage to Act. Success requires action, not just intention. Dreams, plans, and ideas remain lifeless until they are given breath through movement. Many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal circumstance, or the guarantee of success before they act. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment, only the present one. Courage is the force that propels you forward when uncertainty surrounds you, the decision to step into the unknown even when fear whispers reasons to stay behind. Action is the proof of belief, the evidence of commitment, and the spark that ignites progress. Without courage, success remains a distant possibility. With courage, it becomes a living reality. Courage is the bridge between thought and reality. It transforms vision into tangible results, turning ideas into achievements. Every great accomplishment in history was born from someone who dared to act when hesitation seemed safer. Courage does not eliminate fear. It simply refuses to be controlled by it. It is the willingness to risk failure, to endure criticism, and to face discomfort for the sake of growth. Courage is not reckless, it is purposeful. It is the strength to move forward with conviction, knowing that the path may be difficult, but that the reward is worth the struggle. Through courage, the impossible becomes possible, and the unseen becomes visible. Those who act boldly create opportunities that hesitation would have missed. Life rewards movement, not stagnation. When you act, doors open, connections form, and possibilities emerge that would have remained hidden had you waited. Boldness attracts momentum, and momentum attracts success. Hesitation, on the other hand, breeds regret, leaving behind a trail of what-ifs and missed chances. Courage ensures that your story is not defined by fear, but by faith, not by doubt, but by determination. In the end, success belongs not to those who merely dream, but to those who dare to act, those who step forward with courage, trusting that every action taken is a step closer to destiny. Chapter 9: The Humility to Learn. Success is not about knowing everything. It is about being willing to learn from anyone. The greatest leaders, thinkers, and achievers are not those who claim to have all the answers, but those who remain students of life. Humility is the posture that keeps the mind open, allowing wisdom to enter from unexpected places. It is the recognition that every person, every experience, and every challenge carries a lesson worth uncovering. When you approach life with humility, you discover that growth is endless and that wisdom often comes from the most unlikely teachers. Humility keeps the mind open, allowing wisdom to flow in. Pride closes the door to learning, convincing you that you already know enough. while humility invites knowledge to expand your perspective. A humble mindset listens more than it speaks, observes more than it assumes, and seeks understanding rather than validation. It is the willingness to admit mistakes, to acknowledge limitations, and to embrace correction without defensiveness. Humility transforms criticism into guidance, turning what could have been a wound into a source of strength. By remaining teachable, you ensure that your growth never stops and your success continues to evolve. A humble mindset sees feedback not as criticism, but as guidance. It understands that correction is not an attack, but a gift, a mirror reflecting areas where improvement is possible. Those who embrace humility do not fear being wrong, because they know that every mistake is an opportunity to become wiser. They welcome mentors, peers, and even adversaries as sources of insight, recognizing that wisdom can be found in every voice. In the end, humility is not weakness, it is strength. It is the courage to remain a learner, the discipline to accept guidance, and the wisdom to know that success is not built on arrogance, but on a continual pursuit of growth. Chapter 10: The Power of Focus. Focus is the art of saying no to distractions, the discipline of directing your attention toward what truly matters. In a world overflowing with noise, opportunities, and temptations, focus becomes the rare skill that separates the successful from the scattered. It is not about doing everything, but about doing the right things with intensity and clarity. Focus is the lens that magnifies effort into results, the filter that removes clutter, so that energy can be concentrated on what produces the greatest impact. Without focus, even the most ambitious goals dissolve into fragments of wasted effort. With focus, every action becomes purposeful, every step aligned with vision. Success requires concentrated effort on what truly matters. It is not enough to be busy. Busyness without direction is simply motion without progress. Focus ensures that your energy is invested in priorities, not distractions. It is the discipline of choosing depth over breadth, mastery over mediocrity, and long-term achievement over short-term gratification. Those who succeed are not those who chase everything, but those who commit to the few things that matter most. Focus transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement, because it channels strength into a single stream powerful enough to carve through obstacles. A focused mindset channels energy into fewer tasks, producing greater results. It resists the temptation to multitask, knowing that divided attention weakens effectiveness. Focus is about presence, being fully engaged in the moment, fully committed to the task, fully aligned with the goal. It is the refusal to be pulled in 1,000 directions, the courage to say no to what is good so you can say yes to what is great. In the end, focus is not just a skill. It is a way of living. It is the discipline that turns vision into reality, the principle that transforms effort into excellence, and the power that ensures your life is not scattered but directed toward destiny. Chapter 11: Gratitude as a Foundation. Gratitude shifts perspective from scarcity to abundance. It is the practice of recognizing the blessings already present, even in the midst of struggle. Where a scarcity mindset sees only what is missing, gratitude highlights what is already given. It transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary gifts, reminding us that success is not only measured by what we achieve, but also by how deeply we appreciate the journey. Gratitude is the antidote to dissatisfaction, the lens that reveals richness in simplicity, and the principle that turns even small victories into sources of joy. It prevents success from breeding arrogance, keeping the heart grounded. Without gratitude, achievement can lead to pride, entitlement, or a sense of superiority. Gratitude humbles the spirit, reminding us that no success is achieved alone, that mentors, opportunities, and even challenges have played a role in shaping our path. It teaches us to honor the contributions of others, to remain mindful of the sacrifices made, and to acknowledge the unseen forces that guided us forward. Gratitude ensures that success does not corrupt character, but instead deepens humility and strengthens integrity. A grateful mindset attracts positivity, resilience, and deeper fulfillment. Gratitude fuels optimism, allowing us to see light even in dark seasons. It strengthens resilience by shifting focus from what is lost to what remains, empowering us to endure hardship with hope. Gratitude enriches relationships because appreciation builds connection and trust. Most importantly, gratitude creates fulfillment, reminding us that success is not only about reaching goals, but about savoring the journey along the way. In the end, gratitude is the foundation upon which lasting success is built, a principle that keeps the heart aligned, the spirit uplifted, and the soul anchored in abundance. Chapter 12. Legacy Thinking. True success is not measured by what you gain, but by what you give. Wealth, titles, and possessions may fade with time, but the impact you leave on others endures beyond your lifetime. Legacy is the echo of your actions, the imprint of your character, and the influence of your principles carried forward by those you touched. It is not about accumulation, but contribution, not about recognition, but influence. Legacy thinking shifts the focus from self-centered ambition to purpose-driven living, reminding us that the greatest measure of success is how our lives uplift, inspire, and empower others. Legacy thinking asks, how will my actions today impact tomorrow? It is the discipline of living with foresight, of recognizing that every choice plants seeds in the soil of the future. The words you speak, the values you uphold, and the sacrifices you make ripple outward, shaping lives you may never meet. Legacy is not built in a single moment, but in the accumulation of daily actions aligned with principle. It is the courage to live beyond comfort, the wisdom to invest in what lasts, and the humility to understand that your life is part of a larger story. Those who embrace legacy thinking live not only for themselves, but for generations yet to come. A mindset that creates success is one that builds beyond the self, leaving footprints for others to follow. It is the decision to live intentionally, to craft a life that becomes a model of discipline, resilience, and generosity. Legacy is not reserved for the famous or the powerful. It is available to anyone who chooses to live with purpose. Every act of kindness, every lesson taught, every principle lived becomes part of the inheritance you leave behind. In the end, success is not about how long you lived, but about how deeply you impacted the world around you. Legacy thinking ensures that your life is not forgotten, but remembered as a beacon of wisdom, strength, and love that continues to guide others long after you are gone. Closing summary. Success is not a destination, it is a mindset. It is not a trophy to be won or a finish line to be crossed, but a way of thinking that shapes every choice, every habit, and every action. Success is the daily decision to believe when doubt arises, to act when fear whispers, to grow when comfort tempts, and to persist when obstacles appear. It is the architecture of thought that builds resilience, the discipline that sustains progress, and the vision that keeps you moving forward even when the path is unclear. When you understand that success is rooted in mindset, you realize that greatness is not reserved for the few. It is available to anyone willing to cultivate the principles that create it. The principles explored in this audiobook: belief, vision, discipline, resilience, growth, time, consistency, courage, humility, focus, gratitude, and legacy form the foundation of a life that achieves greatness. Each principle is a pillar supporting the structure of your destiny. Belief gives you the courage to begin. Vision provides the direction to continue. Discipline ensures that effort becomes habit. Resilience transforms failure into wisdom. Growth keeps you evolving. Time reminds you of urgency. Consistency builds momentum. Courage compels you to act. Humility keeps you teachable. Focus channels your energy. Gratitude grounds your spirit. And legacy ensures that your success extends beyond yourself. Together, these principles create a mindset that cannot be shaken, a foundation strong enough to carry you through every season of life. When you adopt these principles, success ceases to be a distant dream and becomes a natural outcome of the way you think and live. You begin to see challenges not as barriers, but as opportunities, setbacks not as defeats, but as lessons, and achievements not as endings, but as beginnings. Success becomes less about what you acquire and more about who you become. It is the unfolding of character, the refinement of discipline, and the expansion of vision. In the end, the mindset that creates success is not about reaching a single goal, but about living a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. It is about building a legacy that endures, a story that inspires, and a journey that proves that true success is not found in what you gain, but in how you grow, give, and live. Thank you for watching and listening to this audiobook. I am truly grateful for your time and attention, and I hope the principles shared here inspire you to apply them in your own journey. Remember, wisdom only becomes powerful when it is lived out, when it moves beyond words and becomes action. If this message has encouraged you, I invite you to share it with others so they too may benefit and grow. Growth multiplies when wisdom is passed forward, and your active sharing could be the spark that helps someone else begin their own journey of discipline, clarity, and focus. By spreading these principles, you are not only strengthening your own mindset, but also helping to build a culture where success is defined by intentional living and purposeful action. Carry these lessons with you. Apply them with intention, and let your actions speak louder than words. Guard your hours, protect your focus, and live intentionally, because your future self is watching, and it will inherit the discipline or the neglect of your choices today. In the end, success is not a destination, but a mindset, a way of thinking that shapes every decision, every habit, and every legacy you leave behind. The end.